Sometimes on the farm, ice can be such a pain in the butt, folks, to deal with. Oh, drives me absolutely batty. We just had an ice storm here. We have snow on the ground. It's about 31 degrees, and everything is coated with ice. I need to rough the driveway up enough so that we can function. So out comes the skid steer, and hopefully I can put some scratches in it. Trying to get some salt, but a lot of the areas that we pull our salt from are out right now because of the storm. So thankfully it's just warm enough where I'm able to crack some of this stuff up, break it up, and kick it around. And I thought probably the easiest way I could do it was maybe with the tracks, and that sure turned out to be the case. But the minute I touched the stuff or tried to turn on it, it would put me into a little bit of a skid. Well, then I just learned to use that as an advantage. Now, certainly be careful when you're doing this, folks, because, boy, it wants to lose control quick, like right up here on the edge of the driveway. It's kind of fun to do, a complete donut or a complete cookie, but as you can see, I start to drift, so I have to stop myself after a while. Each time I do one of these, I rough up the surface underneath. It starts breaking apart, and I actually start getting some grip, which is great. And it was a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, as long as you don't mind getting dizzy. But you do have to keep your wits about you. You don't want to slide into a diesel tank. You don't want to take out one of your garage doors. Something like that could be devastating. It's amazing how fast this feels inside this machine. I mean, it's 8 to 10,000 pounds. I don't know, whipping a donut. Here's the cab view as I go around right now. It's almost like a ride at an amusement park. Again, you get that kind of half-inch of wet coating on the ground before any more snow comes, and it's like glass out here. It's actually quite dangerous on the farm, even for the animals. But I'm getting actually this roughed up pretty good. It is making a dent in it, and it was rather fun doing it. Here I'm in the main part. As you can see, I just turn the skid a little bit and push it to one side, and it spins right out. It's quite comical. I can honestly say I've never taken a skid steer on lake ice because of fear of, punching it through. But there's no fear of punching through on your own driveway. So, what the heck? Let's whip a couple donuts and cookies. One of the things I did learn too is that the skid steer really likes to cookie most of the time in reverse. I tried to get it to cookie going forward a couple times, but it really, really likes to spin backwards, because I think with where the weight of this distribution of this John Deere is, if I take it backwards, it gets going so fast I really can lose control. So I chose to always cookie it out going forwards, because backwards was just crazy fast. But it's what it is. So if you ever need your driveway roughed up after an ice storm, think about having a little fun with your skid, but keep your wits about you so you don't slide into something or hurt one of your objects, that's for sure. If you get the opportunity to whip donuts on ice like this, you gotta admit it's kind of fun, because, in the summer you can certainly do this with a skid steer, but you don't go near as fast, and you dig yourself a hole that you gotta fix in the winter. There's no hole to fix. It's kind of neat in that regard. So it obviously didn't take me too long. I think I had this whole top half of the driveway pretty much roughed up in about, 4 or 5 minutes here. But it sure was a fun thing to do, an interesting thing to do. Being 49 years old, kind of brought back memories of my youth when, my dad would, take out the sled or whatever, and we'd get pulled behind, and he'd turn really tight and, make circles, or we'd go in the boat and, make donuts out on the water or something, behind the boat or something. Those are always good childhood memories, and I guess this kind of just brought it back for me. Nothing like taking an 8 to 10,000 pound machine and look at that cookie there, and putting it into a complete spin, and then stopping on the controls and going around at least a whole nother time before the machine kind of comes out of the spin. As you can see, it was quite the day. Look at me just cooking around here. But it was a cool 5-6 minutes of action. I definitely roughed up the surface enough. Like I said, it would have been nice to get a little bit of salt or some gravel brought in, but the yards just don't have it right now with this massive storm going through and laying down some ice. I just had to improvise here on the farm a little bit and make it safer for the customers and the people coming in. Appreciate you guys liking and watching. If you can ever do it safely, I highly recommend taking one of these things and cooking it out on ice or doing a little donut with it.